pleasure in welcoming everyone to the UNIC plenary session of eSci Model United Nations 2020, hosted by Sci International School, Bhubaneswar, India.
In these trying times, I welcome the holding of your Model UN activity. Your commitment to international cooperation is essential for tackling the COVID-19 pandemic. We can only defeat the coronavirus if we do so globally. We must come together and support the most vulnerable. The United Nations is undertaking a wide-ranging response calling for a global ceasefire and working to control the pandemic, save lives, mitigate the socio-economic damage, fight stigma and recover better.
My very simple approach to the UN and the individual is to look at the UN logo, map of the world, surrounded by concentric circles, 5 circles, that initially were said to represent the continents of the world. But I revisit the UN logo and I see a different connection. I see the individual as a pinpoint at the center of those circles. And I see growing relationships surrounding that individual. Relationships that include the family, the community, the country, the region, and finally the whole globe. This mentality of linking the individual to what your logo beautifully says, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world as a family, is key to both understanding multilateralism and individual responsibility. Your Sci-MUN is a stepping stone to that larger conversation, of global citizenship, of responsibility of young people, of youth leadership, and of moving towards a more sensitive and still global world.
What kind of future do we want to create? I think for the world in general.
I want a future where countries can cooperate and solve problems in the world together. For example, currently there is race against skin color in America. So I think a future without any race or nationality where people can live peacefully.
All the countries should work together to create vaccines so that all the people who are suffering from the coronavirus can get better.
Future where differences can be viewed as a strength, and differences don't have to be a mode of weakness, as stated by another student over here, owing to what's happening in America right now.
Today, it's not only race, but even nationalities as a whole that are often discriminated, such as, the coronavirus often being called as the Chinese virus and so on. So it's just a future wherein all these differences can be accepted and something that we can build upon rather than having to, divide ourselves with.
People have experienced it and we are moving forward drastically. However, at the same time, I believe in ways where we should be, we are lagging behind and there's lots to do.
What I think is most people fail to understand that global knowledge is an essential factor for world peace. If, like most delegates says, the future that we want to see is a place where peace is. So what I think is mutual understanding is something that we all require.
My question for you is, what actions do we need to take to bridge the gap between where we're at now and the future that we want to create? What actions can be taken?
Now to strengthen our bond with our communities, for example, health and climate change focus on participants, envision good health, including having a supportive community, being physically active, increasing local food production, families staying together and working together, and a good balance as we work together to build a resilience to impact from climate change. Let's focus on what we want to create together.
Also, I feel that digitalization, in this global pandemic timing, digitalization of almost everything, business, education, and other sort of trading will actually help us to reach our future. Some countries like India and USA are trying to be on track, and they try to reduce the gap. But some orthodox countries and some orthodox people don't try to forget the old things like discrimination and racism, and they continue to do so. So if those people change their mindset, then we can like reduce the gap.
I feel like there are some countries which are a little less developed, and then there are others which are more developed. But we're all so connected. So bringing everyone on the same level, sharing technology, I think that can do a lot of good.
The main thing that would make our future more bright is to have more youth leaders who have a fresher perspective, a newer perspective on things, who are able to think out various agendas with a more rational mind, and who are more willing to compromise and come out with a better solution which is suited to everyone and which is more suited to our environment and everything all together, which is what we need.
My heartiest congratulations to all the young leaders. I was all through, I kept my camera on mute and I was listening keenly to all these leaders, and I could see the sparkle in their eyes to find out a solution. And that's what is the new generation. That's the leadership. And I see these are the people who are going to change the world. So we'll only talk and advise and tell, this is to be done, this is to be done this way. But these are the people who will find a solution, and a solution out of nothing. And that's what is the future of India, the future of the world. So I'm so very happy. I was listening keenly to each of the views of the students. They have picked up the answer to the question. They are not complicating the question. They are finding out a solution to the question and a new approach. So congratulations for such drastic, views which are disruptive, but which are leading to a better world to live in, peaceful and a better world. I'm so happy to see all of you, my young leaders. Congratulations.
A warm greetings to all of you from this part of the world. What a splendid session this has been. I express my heartfelt gratitude to the UNIC for the brilliant video message by the Secretary General to the United Nations, His Excellency Antonio Guterres,